Welcome, I'm Drew Harris. I'm the Director of Media Relations for the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. And thanks to everybody for coming out this morning for our game week press conference. To tell you about what we'll do, we will have the coaches available here. And then when they finish, immediately we will have time for the players to be interviewed one-on-one. We have San Diego State on this side. We have Army on the other side. And we will handle it that way. A little bit about the bowl. It's the 15th annual game. San Diego State and Army West Point. It'll be Saturday at 2:30 at TCU's Amon Carter Stadium. Army will be the home team. San Diego State is the visiting team. It'll be televised live on ESPN and game day radio in Spanish and in English. A couple of notes about the game that you might find interesting. Over the last 3 years, the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl is the highest scoring bowl game with 253 total points scored. Something to keep in mind, guys.
It's a lot of pressure.
And the 19 combined wins by San Diego State, who had 10, Army, who had 9. It's the second most in the game's history. And the 19 total wins make the bowl one of just 10 in the nation this year, with at least that many combined wins, and it's one of just 4 outside of the New Year's 6 games. The full list would be the Sugar, Rose, Cotton, Fiesta, Orange, Peach, Alamo, New Orleans, Dollar General, and obviously the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. So we will joined here by both coaches, Rocky Long from San Diego State and Jeff Monken of Army West Point. And I'll just ask them to give an opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions. And I'll talk about the gentleman in the back of the room after we finish here. So go ahead. We'll start with the visitors. So Coach Long, can you make an opening comment?
Sure. It'll be short and quick. We've had a great time since we've been here. The bowl people have done a great job entertaining our team. We have great respect for the Army team because we've been watching them on film for 3 weeks, and what they've done this year, they're the most physical football team we're going to play against all year long. They run an unusual offense that's going to be very, very difficult for us to stop, and I think that it might be the shortest game in history if they didn't have commercials.
I also want to say thank you to the Armed Forces Bowl. Just what a privilege for our team to be here in the great city of Fort Worth. Brant and the whole staff have been so generous and gracious to us. We're thrilled for the opportunity to play in the postseason. This is a measure of success, I think, for everybody that plays at this level. And it's really exciting for our guys to be able to play in a bowl game. It means a lot to them. And to play a great team like San Diego State. I said many times that there's a lot of teams that are playing in bowl games this year that breathed a sigh of relief when they realized they didn't have to play San Diego State. To play a team that has the nation's leading rusher, I think he's just a tremendous player. It'd be difficult to argue that there's a better back in the country than him, and we know what a difficult task that is for our defense to be able to face him, along with an offense that is very powerful and throws the ball effectively. And you watch him play and you realize he's not the only player they got out there. He's got an unbelievable supporting cast. Their defense they give people fits. As an assistant, I've faced Rocky and his teams before, and they gave us fits, and they're fast and athletic and different than almost every team we've played this year. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge for us. But we're excited about tomorrow and just having a chance for this team to be able to play together one more time. So we're glad to be here, and thank you to everybody here in Fort Worth.
Thank you, guys. If you have a question, we have Mercedes on this side. We have Ryan on this side with microphones. If you can just name your affiliation and address the coaches, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, Jeff. Saad Yusuf, Dallas Morning News. The second straight year you guys are playing a bowl game here. How does last year's experience kind of help you guys just being in the Metroplex last year?
Oh, I don't know if it gives us any sort of an advantage. We certainly we are glad to be here. We got a number of guys on our team from Texas, and they're glad to be home. Their parents are glad to be able to drive here and watch the game and welcome them home. As I said, it's just a thrill for us to be in the postseason, to be able to play in a bowl game, and this game, along with the Heart of Dallas Bowl, are closely connected. And we had such a great experience last year at the Heart of Dallas Bowl. We were glad to be able to come back and be hosted by the same staff, and we knew it would be first class.
Jeff Miller, representing the Associated Press. Jeff, since winning the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, I assume you've received congratulations from near and far. Is there one or a couple that stand out either by who they came from, where they came from, or how they were delivered?
Every one of them, the message that we receive is special because it's a realization that a victory like that and the pride of winning the Commander-in-Chief's trophy goes far beyond the gates of West Point. And I received messages from across the country and around the world, Afghanistan, Iraq, soldiers, grads, and former players. And it's a thrill. It's a thrill to receive each one of those and just to hear how much it means to them personally and what it means to the soldiers that are out there representing, or that we represent, that are out there defending our nation and the freedoms around the world. So it's certainly a thrill for us and a great source of pride to have that Commander-in-Chief's trophy back at West Point.
John?
John Henry, Star-Telegram in Fort Worth. For both coaches, both programs have kind of carved out a nice recruiting niche in Texas. Kind of curious to know what a game like this does for exposure to your program for recruiting.
Well, obviously, we think it'll help us recruiting in the state of Texas. I mean, our advantage is I have 6 or I think 5 assistant coaches that grew up in the state of Texas, that know all the high school coaches and know all the ins and outs. And obviously, we know how good the high school football is in Texas. And there's a lot of good players here, a lot of good athletes that we would like to have in our program. So it's worked out for us. I think we have 14 players on our team that are native Texans. And they're excited about being here, I'll promise you that. And we're excited that we're here with them.
We too have a number of players, as Rocky said, from the state, and I think that just it's a way for us to shine a light on the fact that we've got guys from this state, a great football state where football's important, and there are a number of good players that you can come to West Point and earn an unbelievable degree and play in a program that has the opportunity to play in the postseason and in front of your family and your friends here back at home. This isn't the first trip we've made to Texas this year, and that's been kind of fun for those guys. And each time we're able to come down here, we make it a big deal. We use all the social media avenues to be able to reach out to prospects and let them know we're going to be here. And I think that just further solidifies the fact that we want Texas players on our team, and so glad to be here. I know a bunch of the guys have family coming, and we've got several prospects that have reached out to us and said how excited they are about us being here.
Brian Estridge with Game Day Radio. Coach Long, your defense over the years facing these Mountain West teams that can show you all kinds of different looks has been able to adapt and control them. What kind of challenge does this Army offense provide to you? And also, can you give us a sense of how that Mountain West preparation gets you ready to face this Army attack?
Well, first of all, playing our games this year gave us no advanced knowledge or any way to play the way Army plays. In this day and age, where you play mostly spread football teams, that's completely different than trying to stop an option football team that doesn't run a whole lot of triple option, but runs a lot of speed option and runs a lot of quarterback powers and lead plays and all those sort of things. So what you're getting is a traditional pro-type offense with no passing game. I mean, they don't spread us from sideline to sidelines. They line up and they're going to knock us off the ball and run it right down our throats and keep the ball away from us. We don't play anybody all year long that does anything like they do it, and they do it really, really well. So, you know, it's been fun for us as a defensive staff to try to figure out a way to slow them down, but we're going to find out if we found a way or not, because we have no idea, because we don't play against anything like this all year long.
More questions? Coach Long, I wanted to ask you about your experience. Your father was in the Army for 30 years. What's it mean to you to get a chance to play an academy and specifically Army?
Well, at the luncheon, I'm going to talk a little bit about that because I'm an Army brat. My grandfather was in the Army in World War I and World War II. My father was in the Army, the 7th Infantry Division in World War II in the Pacific, and then he was in the Korean War. Started as a private, ended up as a major in the reserves. And I want to thank Coach Monken because we watched the Army-Navy game as father and son every year until he died. And I never knew how much he hated Navy. I actually asked him one time, "Do you not like Navy?" He says, "No, I hate them on game day." He says, "But I like them the rest of the year because when there's a fight to be fought, they're damn good transportation." So you know how my father felt about that game, and I was brainwashed that same way. So personally, it's an honor that I'm here with a good football team and we get to play them. That's just personal. But my dad's going to be watching. I don't know who he's going to be rooting for, but he's going to be watching.
Your dad and I get along well.
Yeah, I know.
Another couple of questions?
Kirk Kenny from the San Diego Union Tribune. Jeff, I want to ask, what does Bradshaw bring to the table for you guys on offense?
He's a tough player, a strong inside runner. He makes great decisions, takes care of the ball, doesn't make silly mistakes, just trying to make a play when there isn't one there. That's the small part of what he does for our team. The most important thing is he's a tremendous leader. When he steps in the huddle, the other 10 guys in the huddle with him believe that we're going to move the football and we're going to score. And he brings that kind of confidence to the huddle on offense, to our football team. He's a servant leader to our team. He's the guy that's out front, encourages our guys to be servant-minded, to do the things that represent our team well. He's extremely poised as a leader, and that's something I admire in him, and I wish I had more of those traits myself. It doesn't seem to bother him when things don't go our way. He just has this very cool demeanor and a confidence that we're going to find a way to make it right and get things done the next series or the next play or whatever the situation may be. And when things go well, we score or we hit a big play. He's certainly excited and congratulates his teammates. But he comes to the sideline and he's the same guy as he would be if it didn't go our way. Very poised, and that's an important quality in a leader, and certainly in a guy that plays quarterback. And I'm glad he's on our team. I'm glad he's our quarterback.
Any other questions for the coaches? If not, we will break into our player groupings and what we have. Yes. Oh, one more. Sorry.
Patrick Lowe, ESPN 95.5. Coach Monken, last time we saw you and your team, it was snowing sideways, and your traction, your footing was just not there.
It's not going to do that tomorrow.
How thrilled are you for tomorrow's weather report?
Well, I saw his 54 keeps going north, which is great. 54 and sunny, and so we're excited we're just excited to be here. And I don't know. I probably hope for some snow tomorrow to give Penny back there a little bit of trouble with his footing because Lord knows we could use it. We'd cut his cleats off. It'd help us a bunch. There are no physical advantages that we'll gain with good weather, certainly. The San Diego State team is very athletic and just, frankly, physically superior to our football team. We got guys I think are tough and play hard and try hard, and that's how we've been able to get some victories this year. That's a great football team, and the amount of respect that we have and our players have for them, I mean, it's no BS. They know we're getting ready to play a great football team, and I'm sure that it's just going to be a tremendous atmosphere and a great surface and a beautiful day, and it'll be a terrific day for all of us to just enjoy this great game and for the fans, and I am excited. But the snow in the last game was really something. I've never been a part of any game like that before, and it was certainly different to be able to play on a surface like that. And I heard Rocky even comment on it about, I don't know if it gave an advantage to either one of the teams. It certainly didn't, but snow tomorrow might help us slow that guy down back there. I know everybody's going to talk to him, and I want to talk to him too. I've never met him, get his autograph while I still got the chance.
Coach Long, same kind of question for you. The second year of this football game, it was 25 degrees at kickoff and at nighttime. Can you tell your guys, hey, lucky for you, we're not playing in that kind of cold weather conditions tomorrow?
Well, obviously, I don't think the weather makes a darn bit of difference because both teams have to play in the same weather. But if it is rainy or cold tomorrow, it lends itself to both offenses. I mean, we're not counting on spreading. We don't spread them out on offense. They don't spread them out on offense. We don't throw it 40 or 50 times. They don't throw it but about one time a game. And so it relates to both offenses. I think a bad field, you'll get some plays that wouldn't normally happen. I mean, we watched and I have a problem with the snow in that all-white uniform too. I have a problem with that because when we broke the film down, I couldn't tell where everybody was, especially on kickoffs. I couldn't see half the kickoff team. But I think you'll see some unusual plays if the field is wet, because there were several plays in their Navy game that were going to be big gains, and they slipped and fell down, or they would have been big runs. So I think that's the same for both teams. I think there's going to be slipping and sliding around for both teams if it's wet. But I've been told that TCU's new stadium, that field drains very, very well, and if it's sunny and 50 degrees, you can't get better weather than that. That's perfect football weather.
Yep.
All right, everybody good with the coaches? We will go ahead and introduce the players then. Start with San Diego State. They brought two players, and that would be Murphy, Texas native and first-team all-conference cornerback Cameron Kelly, and the nation's leading rusher and the fifth-place finisher in the Heisman Trophy race, Rashad Penny. And seated in that direction for Army, we're joined by quarterback Ahmad Bradshaw, who this year broke the Army single-season rushing record with more than 1,500 yards. And we have defensive lineman and captain John Voigt, who is known for making the game-saving tackle in the Army-Navy game, running about 45 yards downfield to stop the Navy quarterback.